Hello everyone, a very special episode today. You could say super special. We're talking all things about massive SM legend Super Junior. I didn't become aware of Super Junior until they were a few years in and already established, so it blew my mind that they were originally considered a rookie group, considering their huge presence in K-pop. Peaking at 13 members, they've definitely gotten into some trouble over the years. We'll be covering their contract issues, allegations of domestic violence and other relationship issues, and an incident with a dog, as well as why they are legends in Korean pop culture. Henry, how you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. I am very interested in how we're going to handle Super Junior, this huge ass group. Well, not as big as they used to be. Am I right? Am I right?
Fair to say. There is so much to get through. Are you aware of them? Do you even know who they are?
What? Are you kidding me? I mean, well, Super Junior, yes. So when I first, or around the era when I was getting into K-pop, like Girls' Generation, Kara, that period of time. So last generation, Super Junior was in that era, and they were huge. Right. Girls' Generation was literally the female version of Super Junior, and Super Junior is meant to be the big version of TVXQ.
Right.
But they're younger, so it's like as you've written in the script here, baby TVXQ, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I know of Super Junior. I've listened to them. Great stuff, but unlike other groups, I find that Super Junior gets a bit stale.
For sure. We will get into that more a little bit later. Yeah. So let's run through their history. They debuted 2005. They are 15 years old. Dang.
Yeah.
Isuman obviously put him together, the SM genius himself. They were 12 members and touted as a rookie group, so Baby TVXQ. There were 12 members, then 13 members with a Maknae Kyohyun added. And now there's 9 because of classic SM contract issues and people just moving on, getting married, stuff like that. They blew up with Sorry Sorry, which is a great song. Great song.
Yeah, Sorry Sorry. I think it was... I think with Sorry Sorry, it became less Japanese style. I've listened to Super Junior's debut track. Do you remember what it was called?
Knock Knock, maybe?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I just remember it being very rock, very...
Oh, yeah.
It had a bit of a J-rock feel as well. Something about that. And then listening Sorry Sorry, it's very dance. It's got the hand movements, the tutting. I don't think it was called tutting. Sorry. It's got the pop dance. It's much more Western in that style.
And Korean. Like, it really was.
Absolutely.
You'd think K-pop and think Sorry Sorry or Genie or G.
Yeah. So, Sorry Sorry blew up for sure. For sure.
And they started just appearing everywhere. There was this whole road, contract issues. Now they're 9 members. A lot of them are married. A lot of them are old. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm talking late 30s. Like, very old now. And they're still on TV. They're still hosting radio. They're still releasing music. Kind of cool.
Do you know how old their youngest member is? Kyohyun, yeah?
Kyohyun, I believe, is 35 now.
Wait, we're not. They're really that old?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me check. He's 32.
Oh, sorry. 32. Yeah. So Kyohyun is 32 and he's the youngest. So they're an old group.
Born in 1988, February 3rd, yeah.
Well, you'd think they would have slipped out of the pop zeitgeist these days. Oh, no. Their last release went number 1. Time Slip in 2019 was number 1 on the charts. So they're still big,
really?
Even to this day.
I didn't even listen to it. I saw Super Junior. Here's the thing about Super Junior, man. They've been doing it for 15 years. Once they release Sorry Sorry, anything after that has a bit of a gimmick to it, which we'll talk about a little later on. But and I'll probably keep referring to it, but eventually the style is the same, gets a bit stale. And to a point where when they release a song, I look at it and I go, probably just a Super Junior song, you know? So I'm like, I move on.
And even trying to get into them, there's such a vast amount of variety show appearances. It's all overwhelming. And that's partly to me the 12 members. Would you say that is too many, right? 12 members? How am I meant to have a favorite or follow up on every single member and their doings?
It's so difficult to just keep track of who's who,
Yeah.
who's good at doing what. Like, sometimes you can't tell apart certain members when you first
Yeah.
look at them.
When you're first starting, you're like, is that Donghei? I think it is.
I'm Asian, man. I'm Asian, and I have trouble. I had trouble trying to figure them out.
And they'll switch hair color, so the one you knew as the blonde one is now black-haired, and the black-haired one is blonde-haired. It's like,
and like when they debuted, they had like peacock hairstyles, and suddenly they all have bowl cuts. You know?
Yeah.
Come on. The only person you can probably pick out is Shindong.
Very
for
true.
a very obvious reason.
Yes. He's a big part of the group.
Yeah, very big part of the group. Quite he's very all-rounded, if you know what I mean.
So in terms of numbers of members, we don't really see 12 members that often. I mean, sure, there's like NCT, EXO, some other SM groups, but let's say the most successful groups, BTS is probably the most right now. They've got 7. Is that kind of the perfect number, do you feel?
Golden number 7, they call it. And it works. God 7. BTS, 7. Monster X. No, I was going to say Moonstar X. Monster X was 7. There's 6 now. The thing is, with the golden number, 6 or 7's good. It's just that when you have something, an even number like 6 or 8, when you do your dance choreographies and you have formation, even numbers, it looks better mirrored when you have 2 people in front to help match it. Whereas with an odd number, you get to have the one person take that front. And
so
the rest
true.
Balance out the rear. That's one of the main things about that golden number. It helps to make each member stand out within a song in the dance, and it doesn't compete with anyone else. Yeah?
And although 7 has good balance, I can't help but feel that with 12, you're covering all the bases. I mean, every single stereotype that a girl might be into or a guy might be into is covered. You can have nerdy one, fat one, skinny one, good singer, good dancer, good rapper. Like, you can cover every single possible base with 12. 7, maybe not so much.
You could, well, I'd say with 7, you cover the main, like, primary roles, and then with 12, you double it. So just in case you don't like this rapper, you might like the other rapper.
Right.
You don't like a hardcore rapper. You might like the more soft-hearted, very lovely rapper. So it doubles it up. If you can't like one, you've got the other one. It's all good. Otherwise, we'll add another member in and make it 13.
Well,
or 14.
Imagine being a member of the group and thinking, I'm the backup rapper? I'm the backup dancer? I'm the one that's just there for when the other one messes up somehow?
Yeah. Well, that's where you have competition, man. Large groups like that, especially in the K-pop industry, competition is huge. Rivalry is huge. Just because you're in the same group doesn't mean you're good friends.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
All right.
That's right.
We'll talk about our first scandal of this episode. It's sort of
Sean and I aren't friends.
It's a shorter one, and it's to do with looks, because Eunhyuk, quite a dashing young lad, is good friends with the nation's sister IU.
Oh, I know this scandal. All right, go on. Continue.
So, November 2012, IU uploads a photo to Twitter of her and Eunhyuk. And thing is, it looks like, it's very close up, but it looks like they're in bed. And it looks like she's in her pajamas. So it just looks very, very intimate. So people naturally start speculating. They start pointing out stuff, and then they go back and look over footage and start highlighting and cutting certain parts, exchanges between IU and Eunhyuk. So it just blows up a little bit.
You didn't add the part where in the picture, Eunhyuk looked like he was topless.
Right. Eunhyuk also looked topless, yes.
So imagine this, guys. Ladies and gentlemen. Eunhyuk, topless, in bed, with the nation's sister, IU. Nation's little sister, IU, I should say.
It went big.
And
it went viral.
You know what? You know what else went big for Inhyuk?
What?
It looked. Yeah, you didn't get it?
What went big?
What else?
Oh, right. Yes,
Inhyuk?
in bed. Okay, yep.
Yes.
I'm right there.
Holy crap, man! I had to explain it for you.
No, it's okay. I'm joining you in the gutter now. It's okay.
Okay. So that was it lit a fire, all right, in the whole world of K-pop. Really, in the whole world of K-pop, because you can't have the nation's little sister all happy and nice suddenly caught in bed with a half-naked dude who, regardless whether it's an idol or not, you're gonna get destroyed, man. Those fans will kill you. The country will come after you, and your reputation just goes down the drain. I believe Eunhyuk's reputation is still not as good as it used to be.
It is one of a bad boy. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I think Eunhyuk has also mentioned the fact that he considers himself a playboy, and that doesn't make things good.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. IU, how could you, Eunhyuk? Get lost.
So IU goes into damage control. She apologizes, saying she uploaded it by mistake. And the quote I have is, "I wondered, why did this happen? Why did I do this? First, I did upload it by mistake. And to be honest, I couldn't even blame anyone else because I was the one who uploaded it." And that speaks to me a lot about this pressure that comes with celebrity of, you can't just in 5 seconds take a selfie. You have to check that selfie. Is there any brand I shouldn't have in the background? Is there anything wrong with what I'm wearing? Am I showing a little too much? How do I look? It's so much pressure.
That's not the main problem. The problem was there was no explanation. All right, it was just, whoop, here's a half-naked picture of Eunhyuk, and then the nation's little sister, IU. Yeah. And then you go, oh, I wondered why I did this. IU goes, I wondered why I did this. Well, if you're talking like that, then we know it was meant to be a more private, intimate picture of both of you. But if you had explained, Eunhyuk was sick, and I went over just to help the guy out. The guy was having a huge fever or something. That's fine. All right, we'll let it slide.
Which it could have been.
Handle it
to be fair,
well.
It could have been a normal photo with bad lighting, because you do not see Eunhyuk's chest. You don't see that he's actually got no top on. It looks like it.
Yes, but the reason why it looks like it is because I don't know of any guys who wear, I don't just mean sleeveless shirts, but I'm talking about long, low-cut, sleeveless shirts that even are not held on the shoulder. The shirts that women wear. You know what I mean? Almost like a boob tube. I don't know any guys wearing. Yeah, I don't know any guys wearing a boob tube. So that means he's either wearing a boob tube, all right, or he's topless. One or the other. Come on, Inhyuk, what are you doing? It's IU, man. It's IU. Come on.
Good point that IU shouldn't actually have to apologize, in my opinion, in many ways. I think that in many ways, Eunhyuk is just at fault, and his apology should be a little more serious and a little more remorse should be shown on his part.
Imagine if you were Eunhyuk, okay, and IU was saying all that stuff. First of all, I would, if I'm Eunhyuk, I'd give an explanation. Oh yeah, this is what happened. It was nothing like that, and I really was, sick or something. Whether I'm lying or not, you won't know. It doesn't really. That's not the point. I'm just trying. It's damage control. And then later on, you poke jokes at it and go, "Oh, you remember that picture?" And you go, "Yeah, it was a great night." So you can then have fun with it. You can make it into something that other idols might reference in like a music video or their song, and suddenly you are more than your reputation suddenly explodes again. Yeah, it lasts longer. But come on, man. If I was in Hyuk, I'd be like, I would be like, oh, I wonder why I did that. Why did I do this? And I would be, I know why you did it. Wink. I'm a playboy. I'm sorry.
All right, let's talk about SM and contracts, which we've already spoken about on the EXO.
Oh,
Yeah.
SM has been known to have contract disputes like all over the place, man. Pick a group.
EXO. It's just a mess, to be honest.
Yeah. And now you got Super Junior.
Exactly. Super Junior, and wouldn't you know it, it's the Mandarin members again as well, the mainland Chinese members.
Who is he? Who is he?
It's a real trend. He is Hung Gang. In December 2009, he was one of the original members, I should point out. And in December 2009, so 4 years into Super Junior, he files a lawsuit to terminate his contract, saying it is too long because it's set at 13 years. That is a long contract, I will say.
Yeah, same.
He was overworked and he was becoming ill from overworking. And he has to pay SM a lot if he wishes to end the contract early, which is sort of unfair. It's sort of not... Yeah, it's not really a just contract. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you have certain contracts where you have to pay to end the contract, and it's mostly for some sort of subscription for, let's say, your internet. To use something something like that. Whereas with this one, he's paying a contract to get out of he's paying fees to get out of a contract for himself as a person. Right?
He is the product. Right.
Yes, exactly. So that's something to keep in mind. And I've said it before, in the world of K-pop, idols walk a fine line between whether they're an idol, like a person, or an object. Yeah? Something to be aware of. Think about it. Yeah.
And he makes a lot of claims. This is all allegedly, I'd say. Still, it's not proven. So he says that SM were forcing him to do activities against his will and fined if he was late, which is sort of common between K-pop groups. And honestly, it's not professional, so kind of fair enough that you might get fined.
Yeah.
And the song rights are unfair because he claims he was composing songs, producing and writing songs, but he wasn't getting any ownership over those songs that he composed, produced, wrote. And I just want to point out something, that he has signed this contract. Well, I'm just saying that he signed on the dotted line, meaning he did agree to this.
It's very likely that he didn't read the full terms and conditions of this as well. A lot of people don't read their contracts. I mean, come on, man. When I install a game, oh, by the way, don't cheat. I'm like, yeah, right.
Install.
So, yeah, install. Gonna pay somebody for a cheat. Don't cheat. It's bad. Pirating's bad. Do it legally. Yeah.
That's right. Nice. Purchase your games, please. Support the industry. Yeah. Right
on. But some of those things, like with a fee if you're late. What the hell, man?
Yeah.
Come on,
and
man.
Funnily enough, a court was like, what the hell, man? And did rule in favor of Hung Gang and rendered the contract invalid. So, something to point out is when he signed it, he was young. He was 18. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was 18, I definitely didn't know much about the world. I didn't have that world experience. And I didn't really know much about even being with people, being with companies. I didn't know much about professional.
You need to remember, Hung Gang signed it at 18. He didn't know, it's possible he didn't know as much about the adult world. All right, you're talking business. There are kids who sign their lives away at what, 12?
Right.
They join and train at age 9.
Right.
That's a lot. I think twice the leader's name,
Jiho.
Jiho, yeah. She, I think, joined twice, or the company of JYP, when she was at least 12. Okay, that's signing contract. When you join something, you're gonna have to sign something. You're gonna have to pay for that. And Hung Gang did it at 18, and even then, as Sean said, like when Sean was 18, it was still fresh to the adult world, to the real world. Like, Sean, did you know how to buy a car at 18?
I'm not sure I did. Not really, no.
Yeah. Exactly. But, like, that's what it means to be living in the adult world. You're gonna need to know that stuff that they don't teach you at school at all.
And also, I'm 18, I'm walking around, someone from the SM knocks on my door and goes, hey, like, here's my card, call us, we're interested in you. Hell yeah, I'm taking that.
That's a second red flag. That's like, hi, some greasy dude comes up to you and goes, you have a great figure. I think you'd be a good model. Here's my card to a location, an alleyway, and we'll have a talk about it there. No, what? No.
It's SM, is my point. They're huge.
Not just that. What do you do about it? You know, nowadays you might know to search it up on the internet. You're right. You might ask around. You might check the forums. People might use something like Reddit to ask around. That's cool. But back then, the internet was still fresh.
Right.
Can't really do much. And you just have some rando greasy dude. I don't know if the dude's greasy. I'm just adding adjectives to him. Some rando just comes up to you, gives you a card for an opportunity to be a K-pop idol. That's a red. I don't trust that. Okay. I'll have to do some really deep investigation just to make sure that the card itself doesn't have a tracking device. At the very least.
Nah, I'm all in. I'm following him. You'll make me a star? All right.
Yes. Back then, man. I think they still do it now.
Oh, yeah. There's still scouts out on the streets basically looking for good-looking or seeing street performers and picking them for groups. That happens still. Yeah.
Yeah, so red flag.
It's sort of a happy ending, though, with Hung Gang. The last sort of statement he made regarding SM was at 2016 at the top Chinese Music Awards. He said, if it wasn't for Lee Suman, wouldn't be on this stage right now as a singer. I would like to take this chance to thank him. Which I think is sort of true, that it was definitely a stepping board for him. And although it didn't work out at SM, it did open up a gateway for him to seek success and achieve success.
Yeah, well, that shows you the amount of training that companies like that give you. So you're forced to do it anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then you cry about it, you get 3 hours of sleep, and then you do it again the next day. So obviously, you know, I don't see why he wouldn't thank Isuman in regards to the abilities that he's gained. Sure, he could pay to join a dancer, a dance training thing or whatever, or singing training.
Oh yeah, like a course or like an academy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could go down that route. It's just, it won't be as hardcore compared to what you would get from going into an entertainment company.
Right.
They will just drain all the stuff you need into you. And if you can't get it, you're out. Remember, Super Junior started off, before debut, it was like 80 people trying to debut. That means it's possible Hung Gang was one of those 80 people who had to train his ass off, you know? In Hyuk probably had to train his ass off. They know the craziness in there, and for them to eventually debut, it means they were the best of the 80. They were the best, got to debut. So yeah, that's why 2016. Thank you, Lee Suman. Hell yeah, you thank you. Sure, your contract was a piece of shit, but still, Lee Suman. I actually separate them. Lee Suman, thank you for training me, but your contracts suck ass. All right, it boils down to that. Business and art. Art's great. Business sucks. Like you do.
In terms of their training, because you hit on training, that's a great segue to the next segment. Oh, really? Super Junior and Variety are like PB and J on toast. They're so good at Variety. They're incredible at it. In my opinion, the best K-pop group at Variety ever. So what makes them so good? in your
Yeah,
opinion?
these guys, once they got comfortable being themselves, they were like masters of their craft. Variety shows immediately. The first guy I think of in variety shows is either Lee Tuk or um, Kyuhyun.
Mm, mm.
Immediately, to me, they're the top two when it comes to variety shows having a presence and a role in it. Like Lee Tuk is great as a host,
Mm,
okay,
mm.
and Kyohyun is also great as a host, but they have differing styles. Lee Tuk's much more funny. It's got that more not yeah, I guess you could say a bit more under variety talk, whereas Kyohyun's a bit more got that bit of antagonism to create dispute, to
Yeah,
create
conversation, create conversation in
yeah.
general. Yeah. Mm.
Exactly. If you had Lee Tuk and Kyohyun together as hosts, Lee Tuk leads, Kyohyun creates content. Lee Tuk guides guides Kyohyun, and Kyohyun from this area would then get the content out from there. That's what I see. That that's them. The rest I don't really notice.
So people like Ituk, Unhyuk, and Heechul, something they have in common is that they all had mentors in the variety space, like Kung Ho Dong or Boom. And even Kyuhyun has the radio star people mentoring him. To me, that's such an important factor in what made these people so good at variety. To me, that's the key. Having that mentor show you sort of how to act or what moments to look for to create comedy in is so important. Or else you're just searching through the dark.
Yeah, that's just like with training. Learning to sing, learning to dance, when you're in the company, you have those mentors as well. With variety shows, same deal. It's just you're now getting trained from people who are masters in their craft and they still do it. Okay? They still perform it. Even if the idols had finished their run, these variety show hosts like Kang Dong, Boom, they still work. They're still going to be working
Mm,
until they can't anymore, like physically. Or
right.
idols, they might not be hosting anymore once, let's say, their contract ends. They decide not to pursue
Mm, mm.
K-pop, being a K-pop idol. You never know. But in the end, they still get the training they need. Sometimes it's not from the company. Instead, it's directly from the masters in their craft in that industry. Other times, it is from the company itself.
And from themselves. These people are personalities. They are unique and, in a way, sort of built for this industry. They have that personality type, that outgoing kind of thing. Or even the quiet ones. They just have that star power, I guess you'd call it, as well. And that adds to it, too.
Once you have 15 years of just doing this, I'm not surprised. Not just that, to their music, how they have a style, a gimmicky style. Their variety show hosting, their presence has that same feel as well. It's got that gimmickiness to it. So when you see them in the shows, you know it's Super Junior. It's very, very Super Junior-y in a way.
Very true.
And
The vibe, you
that's
mean, yeah.
exactly, that's 15 years of experience that they've got doing this. At first, they weren't showing off their personalities as much because they were worried they might lose their position in Super Junior because they're only freshly debuted. But after a while, once they've solidified the fan base, they've got their name out, and the fan base starts to understand and accept them more personally, then they can start showing more of themselves rather than the idea or the personification of what Super Junior was meant to be. Instead, Super Junior doesn't define the members. The members define Super Junior. That's what they are now, and that's from 15 years of experience. That's Super Junior. Crazy.
Our favorite song, we might as well move on to the songs.
That was a great ad. Come on.
Yeah. Our favorite song is Sorry, Sorry, without doubt, right?
No. I don't think so, no. It's not the... I don't think I have a real favorite song from Super Junior.
So they're
They're
all
good.
just sort
I
of
have-
good? Is that what you're saying?
Nah, they're not all sort of good. I'm sorry. Their style hella gimmicky for me as well. I don't hate them. they've got certain styles that I enjoy. If I had to pick a favorite song, it would not be Sorry Sorry. At least not the version that I think Sean is saying. The original, the pop, dance, trappy kind of, no, maybe not trappy, but the electro kind of sound that Sorry Sorry had.
Right.
That's cool, but I would not listen to it for a long time because eventually it's actually quite repetitive and quite, it gets monogamous?
No, you almost had it. Monotonous.
Monotonous,
Yeah.
correct. Thank you, Sean, yes. But if you have not heard of the remixed version of Sorry Sorry, I think Sean knows this one. It's smooth, it's sexy, and it's such a different style to the original. Do you recall what the remix was?
Yes, it's Sorry Sorry Answer version.
That's correct. So the one I like, if I had to pick a favorite song from Super Junior, it would be the Answer version of Sorry Sorry. So not the Sorry Sorry original. That one, to me, over time it goes, but the Answer version, that's the one I would choose to be their top.
Wow.
Yeah, that's mine. I don't know. What about yours, Sean? Do you really like Sorry Sorry?
I do. I just really, really like it. I think the Sexy Free and Single is also quite good. I respect Mamacita for being sort of quirky and kind of out there, but still successful as a pop song. But do I listen to it a lot? No. Whereas I keep coming back to Sorry Sorry that I've just got to call it the best song. It's the best Suju song they've ever released.
I can understand, especially with Sorry Sorry. It is their track that really pushed them into the limelight. So, and Mamacita was like a good twist, but it also reminded me of Spy.
That's true.
Spy was
That's
a twist.
true.
It's not. I'm not saying. What I'm not saying. I'm not saying that the style and genre is the same. No. What I'm saying is that the twist in their song list, Spy was that little twist, and apparently they don't like doing the dance to that song. They don't like the song. Mamacita was like another twist that they added in, and it works because it's Super Junior, right? You see those twists? It's Super Junior. It's got their style. You watch the music video for Devil. Feels like Super Junior. It's very them, very them, very touch of variety show, but also having fun. And it's just a dance, just a simple dance.
Is that what makes their songs popular, though, you reckon? Those twists in the style? Those differentiations?
Well, are they still popular, though? That's something we'll have to get to later on, because throughout their musical history, for me at least, it's not that different. Sooner or later, I'm going to expect a twist. In the end, their music still sounds like Super Junior. So I will expect a Super Junior sounding song. When I listen to BTS, I listen to that song sometimes, oh, who's singing that? Oh, it's BTS. Oh, no shit. And then I listen to, like, when DNA came out, that's BTS. BTS didn't do any songs like that before. Like, that sounded similar to DNA. So we listened to Dynamite. Oh, that's a little different. I never knew BTS would do that. When it did Fake Love, I'm like, oh, I didn't know BTS was into having that touch of emo rock in there if you listen to it. But with Suju, doesn't matter what style they use. You just know it's a Super Junior song. Oh, it's a Suju song. Oh, yeah. Oh, that new song that came out, it's a Suju song. So, same thing. That's the problem with Suju, for me at least, is that, especially their popularity in me, they became less popular because there wasn't really that much going on with them afterwards.
Yeah, to me,
variety show kings.
Right. Yeah. All their songs just have that hook, and it's repeated. Sorry, Bonamana. I know that's their old songs, but even Mamacita, that like, it's all about that hook that they just repeat, and it gets in your head, and before you know it, you love the song. That's sort of what makes their songs so good and so popular, and it is genius. It's so amazing that they can write these pop hooks and have those quirky instruments and stuff like that and still be popular. But I know what you mean. You sort of expect it now, and you listen to it and you go, oh yeah, it's a Suju song. It's a little bit stale and whatever at this point.
That's why I ask you, like, 15 years of them doing this. Do you think they're popular?
In a very different way. I treat them as popular in the variety space or the TV space. I don't see them as popular in their music anymore. I think they've evolved into the hosts and they've evolved into the variety show reality stars kind of thing.
I don't think they're popular. I think they still have a following, still got a big fan base, but I don't think they're popular. Instead, what I think is more that they are, because they're still singing, they're still doing variety shows, they're still out there. They are there. Yeah, they are there. They're out there. That's it. Are they popular? No, I don't think so. I don't think they're popular. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Super Junior. You do great stuff. You know, you're great hosts. Songs are nice and all, but compared to when they started, compared to when Super Junior started after Sorry Sorry, by the way, not from debut, but after Sorry Sorry, everything else kind of just it just mellowed out and then became what it is now. And then the fact that they got number one of what, Time Slip, Love Slip, what
Time Slip? Yep, Time Slip.
Time Slip. That's interesting, but at the same time, I don't really care. It's Suju. At that point, it's just like, it's Suju. They got number one. They've had 15 years. Whoop-de-doo.
That's a good point. The genre has sort of moved on from them.
No,
let's talk about Shiwon. Shiwon and the dog bite incident, which is
here we go.
It's a bit heavy what happened. So Cheshiwon, the family dog, bit a Korean restaurant CEO, restaurant named Hanil Kwan, and she ended up passing away 6 days later from sepsis, which is an infection. Which is incredible, by the way. Like, that doesn't happen normally. That's not just a standard thing with dog bites. So,
yeah, so when Sean said, "Oh, that's incredible," that's not a positive incredible. It's a really shocking, incredible.
It's just quite bizarre and surprising, I guess are better words to use. It's shocking.
Yeah.
It happened on September 30th, 2017. October 21st, Shiwon straight into damage control. He apologizes on Instagram. I'm going to read it. I bow my head in apology to the bereaved family, who must be going through great shock and sorrow right now. I feel very apologetic for the incident that our family's dog was recently involved in. I extend my sincerest condolences to the family of the deceased. And in an interesting, sort of half unexpected twist, the family member totally forgave the sister, saying, "It's true that my sister passed away from a secondary infection along with some other complications after getting bitten by their dog. However, we decided to forgive them because we were close as neighbors and loathing them will not bring my sister back." Well, that's mature as anything. That is so noble. I'm shocked. I can't believe it went down that way in such a positive way.
I think also the fact that they were close neighbors, or they were close as neighbors. I mean, if they were total strangers, I don't think it'll be as nice.
And she goes on to say, like, we just want to mourn her. We don't plan on taking any legal action, and they don't want to be compensated. Once again, this is quite surprising, and I'd say abnormal, because Shiwon at this point, millionaire, like, he's got money. So, in a certain respect, I would kind of be like, you know, being compensated at least a little bit might be nice. It might help us hold a proper funeral, maybe. Maybe if they don't have the funds to, I don't know. At least, you know, just as a nice gesture as well. So I'm really shocked that, once again, there was no compensation either.
Well, hold on. Do you think Choi Siwon would have actually helped him out with that funeral anyway?
Yes, without doubt. He's remorseful. That's why.
Yeah. So
over
here
okay,
I might say that, like, they're not looking for compensation or whatever, but I'm sure Siwon would have just gone out of his way to still compensate anyway.
In private kind of thing.
Exactly. So in public, you don't hear about it, or he didn't do anything, but privately, I'm sure, you know, he would definitely have, you know, do something to help out, because
good point.
It was his dog, you know.
Because she does go on to say, like, Choi Siwon visited our family several times to apologize and cried at the funeral. So, yeah, they saw his actions and felt there was no need for compensation. So it's exactly how you said, like, sort of privately, there was this remorse, there was all this showing of kindness that they felt. There's no need for legal action. That's cool.
Yeah, so do you know what happened to the dog?
The official statement we got was sent away to the countryside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In over here, I believe the dog gets put down, right? I'm not sure on
Yes, that happens fairly often. Yes.
Yeah, so that makes me wonder if you had a pet who attacks someone and that person dies, how would you handle it? What would you do? Would you give your pet up to die or to be euthanized or try to protect it and make sure that it stays living? What would you do?
I would
What would
definitely
you
go to. I definitely plead for witnesses, anyone, because in this day and age, everything gets filmed, everything gets put on camera. So I'd hope and hope and hope that someone caught it on camera, and then I'd probably go through a trial. As in, what I'm saying is, I do everything in my power to not have to lose the dog or leave the dog. I definitely would want to try and keep it as much as possible because it's a mistake. And yes, a person died. That's awful. But dogs are animals. You need to respect that. And they're kind of wild in that way. And that's,
really?
yeah.
It's a genuine accident, I believe. It's not like Shiwan told the dog to, bite her.
Right.
Nothing like that. So, genuine accident. The resolution was good. If it happened to me, if it was my dog, I would do the same thing, man. I would just do the best I can for the family, and I try to protect my dog as well because I know being there, I know what happened. They know what happened, and yeah, if it turns out to be there were people who were really vengeful and try to attack you in every way, then you'd have to. I guess I'd have to fight even harder.
Absolutely,
It would
because
suck. It would suck to lose the dog.
if let's just say it spirals and becomes part of the public conversation, like there'd be a lot of people saying put the dog down. Like fuck you.
That's the only time you're allowed to use the F word.
That's my one.
Yeah, we'll have to also figure out how to edit in beeps.
Oh yeah, I'll beep it. Sure. Yeah,
So you
I'm
were saying?
serious about my dog. Is what I'm saying. I guess I'll John Wick it if I have to.
Yeah, that's right. Dogs are important. Pets, they're treasures. And yeah, like condolences to the lady. I mean,
Yeah, really sad story. It's such a horrible accident, I guess you'd call it. Yeah.
oof.
Well, things are pretty bad at Super Junior now, and truthfully, they get worse because we have another member, Kung In, and he just, at this point, it's a rap sheet. He's done a decent amount. Going back to September 2009, the guy gets charged with assault. And it's because of an altercation stemming from an argument at a restaurant. Allegedly, these men sat at his table, then he left, and they followed him outside, picked a fight. And what was found in the courts is he was acting in self-defense. That's an official police statement. We will count Kung In's acts of violence as self-defense. A month later, DUI. Kung In is drunk driving and runs into a taxi. So it's a hit and run as well because he ran off. He turns himself in later, but obviously he's charged, and they find that he was at 0.082% blood alcohol level. The legal limit in Australia is 0.05. So that's a decent percentage above.
Let me guess. The police also counted it as Kung In's acts of self-defense.
No, he was fine. He was fine.
I was defending myself.
So he gets fined 8 million won. That's something like $7,000 US. 2016. So this is years after. Another DUI. He's caught drunk driving May 24th, 2016. He hits a street light this time. So at least he moved into inanimate objects this time, not moving objects. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he made the object that was originally inanimate animate.
Hey, why'd you hit me?
Just flying off.
That's how drunk he was.
Oh god.
Talk to him. But this
Thank
time, this is it. The jig is up. Kung In is suspended from Super Junior. He's not taking part in any activities. And the real story that came out was, so an escort bar is where it took place. So Kung In was around an escort bar, is what we can confirm.
So the real scandal isn't the driving, the DUI. The real scandal is, was he cheating on his girlfriend?
Well, I can't say they were doing too well, potentially, because 2017, Kung's found he assaults his girlfriend at around 4 a.m. on November 17th. Kungin reportedly assaults someone at a restaurant. According to the Gangnam branch of the Seoul police, they brought the idol in after they received a call saying Kungin is drunk and assaulting his girlfriend. So that's the story. I'm not sure we can say anything is true yet.
Right.
Now, the victim doesn't press charges. So Kungin's released with a warning. And the police explained that the victim said she was his girlfriend. And that sort of makes these whole legal things regarding the system. Either way, he's discharged. Now, at the very least, the victim says it's his girlfriend. Let's assume it was his girlfriend at the time. But as you said, escort bars. You sort of wonder.
Apart, though. A year apart.
Oh, true. A year apart. Yeah.
It is a year apart, but no, maybe it took like that long for this to eventually happen. You know, not saying it is. I don't know anything about it. We're just making random connections here. It's not. Don't take it with a grain of salt.
This is conspiracy theory stuff. Yep.
Exactly. So maybe it wasn't his girlfriend back in 2016 with the second DUI, where it was from the escort bar. Girlfriend found out, relationship didn't go, it started tumbling even further down. You could say that before the second DUI, it was already not doing so well. Right? Once it hit 2017, things go really bad. There's the assault, and that's the end. That finished the relationship.
It's so many incidents. It's so hectic. And wouldn't you know, 2 years later, he leaves, and he posts on Instagram, I decided to leave behind the title Super Junior, with which I spent a long time. So he's now out of the group as well.
Oh, man. Far out.
So this guy's life kind of unraveled, I'd say from 2016 onwards, really. Because 3 years later, he quits his group that he's got all his success off. Do you find this unraveling of events, do you think this is kind of awesome? Like this rock star life? Is it kind of badass? Or is this just a bit cringe? A bit of a meltdown?
Your question's cringe. That's what it is. That's right. I thought it'd be like, oh, do you think Kangin did the right thing leaving the group because of so many things that happened? That's what I thought you were going to ask. But instead, you're like, you think what he did was like a rock star life? Did you like that? No. I don't bloody like that. You kidding me? The guy, what did he do? At least it wasn't his dog that bit someone and killed someone. You know, holy crap! If that was it, this guy, Kang In's like screwed. But what? He got drunk driving again, assaults girlfriend, more drunk driving. What else is he gonna do? Assault. Man, that's not a rock star vibe to me.
But here's the thing.
What?
I know that it's easy to say that when we look outwards a little bit, but what do you see in like the hip hop world? You see people shooting each other, you see them doing illegal drugs. You know, like, how is Kangin doing stuff that different from that lifestyle? And they're all kind of, you know, respected, or maybe not respected, but glorified as these awesome lives. So do you think Kangin fits that? Or is there something about it that just isn't right? It's not a rock star life. It's just bad.
It's not a rock star life because, number one, he's not a rock star. I'm sorry, man. There's a reason why you call it a rock star vibe for a rock star. Yeah, but he's not a rock star and he doesn't have that vibe. He's just an idiot. I'm sorry, mate. That's just idiotic. Why would you do that? I mean, to be fair, they're like parts. You have one in 2009, one in 2009, a month later, and then 2016, that's 7 years later. And then you've got the assault, which is 2 years later again. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 things. And then leaving the group, that's the 5th thing. Or we will not even count that. It's just 4 things. In the past, let's see, back in 2009. Back in 2009. And so in the past 10 years from the first...
Right.
First thing to happen, the DUI. And then the last thing he did is leaving. In those 10 years, he did technically 4 things. It's not really rock star stuff. He'd be doing it much more often. But at the same time, he's the only one in the group that actually does this stuff. So, no, he's not a rock star, Sean. Stop it. Just because you like rock music. No, he's not a bad boy. He's an idiot.
I think I agree with you on that he did things again and again after facing consequences. So the first DUI, he gets fined. So surely that would teach you, oh, okay, I just lost a whole bunch of money on this. Maybe I won't do that again. As in, he got negative consequences from his actions. Why would you repeat those actions? That to me is where he's stupid.
I'm just going to take it back about calling him an idiot. Kagin, you're not an idiot. I'm just going to say that your actions are idiotic. You're not an idiot. You're just, your actions are idiotic because possibly he became that, that he made those idiotic choices because of the drinking. And it looks like he would have been drinking in most of these parts anyway. I'm just guessing here. So when people drink, they lose the consequences that you might think of if you were to do something. They tend to think less of it, or that the consequence isn't actually as bad as you think.
Right.
That's
they lose their inhibitions. Right.
Exactly. So when they start doing stuff that they don't normally wouldn't do because they know well enough when they're sober that it's a dumb idea. It's an idiotic action. So all this stuff, it's possible Kangin might not actually be an idiot. It's just that his alcohol tolerance, for example, his alcohol took over, made the decisions for him, and he made those idiotic choices.
And I just think it all comes back to that K-pop life. It's just so much pressure, so much work, that you're going to sort of short circuit at some point or break down at some point. And I sort of think that's what's going on here, that Kangin is drinking to escape, because I think that's 99% of why people drink. They're escaping from life just for a moment and just letting their hair hang down and have some fun, right? It's an escape. So,
I think,
Kangin, unfortunately, I am only guessing, but unfortunately he escaped a little too hard, or he just had problems he wasn't addressing and needed to be addressed, and it escalated into this kind of violence, I guess you'd call it. Yeah.
I don't know, but isn't drinking pretty normal in Korea, though? Like, it's quite a thing that they do at the end of work anyway.
Yeah, like letting off steam. Yes.
Is it,
what I'm saying is he had such issues that it was too much. He was drinking too much.
Well, was it because of the issues, or he just happens to like drinking?
Fair. That's the thing. We don't know the guy, and we aren't Kangin. We can only speculate. But that's a good point. Yeah. I don't know how to transition into this after that Kangin conversation.
So, Sean, do you care about Suju? After all that's transpired, all that we talked about, do you care about Suju after all they've done?
I do. To be honest, I do, simply because still to this day I see them on variety shows. So I'm reminded of them still.
Okay. For me, yeah, I'd say I care. Not to the point where I want to listen to their songs, or I want to listen to their podcast or watch their variety show. I don't care about them that much, but I do care about, Lee Tuk joins a second K-pop group, and that group gets big, and then Lee Tuk has to decide whether to stick with Super Junior or stick with the new group. That's interesting. That's pretty cool. That's something I'd care about. But in general, while I still care for them in that way, the rest not as much.
Then I'll change the question a little bit. So do you think Super Junior should continue as a group, or should they just act solo? Should Etuk just be Etuk, Eunhyuk just be Eunhyuk?
The thing is, I think they're most themselves when they are hosting. When they're hosting, whether in a unit or solo, it makes no difference. You're just being you.
Good point.
When it comes to singing, doing subunits and stuff, their style, because Super Junior is defined by them. So whatever they do is a Suju style. They do it by themselves, that's Suju. If they do it as a subunit, that's Suju. They do it all together, that's Suju. Because each and every member, whether they are solo, in a small unit, or together, they define Super Junior.
But I think
So are they?
I think that people don't even see that. They're just like, oh, Eunhyuk's on TV. Oh, Lee Took's in this show. I don't think Super Junior's on anyone's minds anymore at all. So what's the point in Super Junior at all anymore?
I don't know. You asked me the question, but no, it's true, right? Because they have such prominence in variety shows on TV and television, internet, even. So that's where their specialty lies more in now, after having such experience. But when you're talking about their dancing and singing, because it's inherently whatever they do in that industry, the music industry,
Right.
it's just Super Junior. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree or not, I feel it's just Super Junior. Whereas with the shows, sure, they might have their little stars to it, but it's not Super Junior. Lee Tuck, or what do you call it? Hito actually says that when they do variety shows, they are much better off on their own. Because when they're together, they clash. A good example is when you watch the second time Super Junior comes onto the show for Weekly Idol. And Donghae, it was the first time he was on Weekly Idol. You watch that one, and you see that mess. And that wasn't even 12 people. That was just 7, I believe. 6 or 7, something like that.
Right.
Yeah. So variety shows, they have much more freedom, and also they can definitely change things up. But when it comes to singing and dancing, it doesn't really make much difference as Super Junior either way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my take. Sorry, man. Sorry about your favorite boy group.
Another episode.
Are they your favorite boy group?
Let me outro.
No.
It's the end. Wrap it up.
Okay.
Another episode of How Not to K-Pop comes to a close. Henry, there was a lot of Super Junior to get through. To be expected when we're trying to cover a 13-member group. I think SM were pretty genius with the creation and marketing of this group. Having them on variety shows, having a Mandarin unit for the Chinese market, they just seem to mess contracts up, SM. But they are genius.
Now, before we finish, just let you guys know, to our listeners, 13 members, we went through about 3 to 4, made a mention of a smothering of others. If we went through each member, this podcast will be, 5 episodes at least?
Well, it would be 5 hours, yeah. Eat your heart out, Joe Rogan.
we're not going to go down that route, so we had to definitely pick out we believe the main ones. These are the ones that we got. If there are more, and you want to listen to more about Super Junior and some of the other scandals that they might have done, or even the smaller things, or things that you think really ticked you off that didn't make news, definitely message us. Let us know. That'd be great.
Absolutely. Comment below the podcast. Yeah. Review. Say it in the review. Hey, you missed this. I wanted you to talk about this. Let us know. And we're happy to chew the fat on it. This was How Not to K-Pop. Till next time.